This is the very first episode of the Campervan Combat, and who better to have than the armbar queen, the amateur champion, PFL signed pro fighter, and my good friend, Gemma Auld. Is that shite?
No, I don't think
Right,
so.
shut the door, get heat in.
Right. Hello.
Right,
Is this in
So-
a good place? Sorry.
how was your day? What do you answer that?
I mean, it was alright, just training this one. That's all I will
At
do.
a higher level?
Yeah.
I was honestly sorry that annoying.
No, it's alright.
I was meant to be at high level, and then, as you know, the van broke down, so went to baseline instead.
It's alright. Wouldn't be as if there wasn't
no, I
some
can.
sort of.
I can't believe it, though, the
Problem.
first time that's ever happened to this van, and the first time I was going to actually do the podcast. And that it broke
Doesn't
down.
matter. It's still.
But we're still
Don't you
here.
have a wee illusion? You pretend that we've drove somewhere cool to do it.
Yeah, no, we're actually you drove. We're actually on my driveway right now because you drove here to do it.
Aye.
So thanks for that.
It's alright.
Yes, aye. How was your day?
It's just the same as every other day, training and trying to get a bit of rest in, but I don't do so well at that part. But
What's sparring like?
that was like, I'd say like last week was the first fighter session back for Christmas, but it was a bit quieter and a wee bit kind of less intense. But this was us back to like proper normal training. It was really, really busy.
Nice.
Like quite a lot of folk in from other gyms and stuff. So it was solid.
I saw that Brian Hislop and that was there.
Yeah.
He's always raving about higher level.
Oh, it's the best. That Sunday session's like
Yeah, because it's good.
another level.
High level folk, good rounds. Clancy was there. He actually asked me to do some photos for him.
Oh.
Stephen Clancy. Just
Alright.
for his upcoming fight. They got a fight
Mhm.
coming up.
Aye, it just got announced the other day. I forget what it's on. It's a title though.
Nice.
BMF, I think.
Oh, that is BMF.
Aye,
Aye.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm doing
Yeah.
regular shows, man, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll be there. A bunch of folk for Hit Squad just got fights on Rise and Conquer.
Oh, that's good.
Megan, her first
Right.
one. I mean, I don't know if I should be saying this, but Megan
Maybe
got a
she
fight
will.
on it.
It's not announced.
I think Greg's got a fight on it.
Yeah, I spoke to him the other day. He was saying he had fight news. I was suspecting it was that.
Yeah, that's cool. Lou, I think he's trying to get a fight on it. There's a boy, I'll tell you after this because I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a boy that I kind of know that refused to fight him, I think. So I don't know.
They wanna, to be fair.
It could just be a timing. It could be a timing thing, I don't know. But yeah, I don't blame them either.
He's decent. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
We'll try not to stop him
I
from
feel like
getting
he's
fights.
never in. He is obviously always in.
No, but even when he never
never
used
see
to
him.
come in that much, he used to just rock up when he hadn't, but like when he wasn't training as consistently, he would just like rock up after weeks off and just
Yeah,
smash everybody and be on his way.
I know.
So even if he's not in, I'm sure he'll still do well.
What else? I'm going up to high level on the first for the Interclub.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That-
I'm going to be taking 40s and hopefully do it if there's like fights and that about.
I don't think I'll be there because
Mm.
I'm going to Metatech. There's some girls from North East coming for an open mat.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's class.
Yeah.
There's loads of women's only. I don't know if that's the women's only. Did you say that? No.
Well, no, it's just a normal open mat, but so we went to the women's open mat there and they wanted to come. This was Lily Wayman.
Aye.
She wanted to come down, or up, or whatever it is, up.
Yeah.
Whoops. She wanted to come up and roll with us like here, so there's just some of them are coming for that, but aye, it's just a normal open mat I think this time, but that women's one I went to a few weeks ago was solid and it was dead busy.
Yeah,
There's loads of girls.
Aye. Yeah, it's cool seeing it, man.
It's really good, aye.
And they're all pretty sound of each other. The last one I was at anyway, they were.
Aye.
Yeah, was that Katrina asked me to go down and shoot some stuff for. She's doing like a women's.
Aye, she's doing
kinda
like
day
a.
thing.
Aye, it's like all different kind of workshops. One day I saw that.
Amy's doing like a.
Aye, she's doing armbar stuff and
Who else? Veronica.
Veronica's doing jiu-jitsu. I think there was something else. There's another. I can't remember, but it's like I saw that the other day. She posted.
Aye. So they've not got back to me, but I think they've not got back to me because I need to get price to them. But they won't make a down and do that. But everything's like close to, obviously, me having my baby.
Well, that's priority.
I know I can.
Aye, 'cause
Everybody else, like, I want to come, but I need
mean,
to see him and June.
I thought that'd be EDCC. Actually, I thought that
that
he
was
would
far
be
too
there because
close.
it's the 26th. Aye.
But I think there's so many good fights on that
Yeah.
team, man. Can't believe Dylan.
Me and Caroline, the trilogy.
I know I can. And Dylan,
Dylan and Chris Duncan will be a good one. Chris Duncan.
Yeah, Chris Duncan one.
Mhm.
And I'm so surprised at that. I just never saw it. I don't know why. I just never mind when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, what a great match!
I know.
Man.
I know.
I never thought of it.
I suppose it's because you wouldn't think you'd get them both like available to do a grappling match at the same
Aye,
time.
that's true. Aye.
But obviously,
That'd
the
be so
time of
busy.
year, I think that's what makes it kind of work. But
Oh, that's cool.
I think that would be class.
So I didn't know. That's the third time you matched against Caroline.
Yeah, so I had her for my very, very first ever match on a show, Submission Grappling on Total Combat.
Right.
That was May, like, not last year, but the year before.
What happened in that one?
I triangled her.
And I was going to say what round, but
It just is one round, aye. And then I had her again, like, a few months later for Holytown Havoc for MMA for the title. And I armbarred her in that one.
That's
so
right, aye.
Been jiu-jitsu heavy both. Well, obviously the first one was
She'll
so
be gunning for you, right?
I know, but I
She'll
had
be coming in
the
for-
first one she was a blue belt, the second one she was a purple belt, now she's a brown belt, and I'm like,
Is she?
I need to get her. I'll get her at all the colours, and I'm still blue.
A blue.
I had to push a
Do you get
blue.
any stripes in a blue belt?
No,
No.
I don't wear my gi. Although I did actually wear my gi every single day in the holidays.
Yeah, one of the stripe
So-
things, I know I never got like, because obviously I never did gi. So I got like, I just went white to blue basically.
Aye, I had 4 stripes in my white belt because I was training consistently gi at Lycans then.
Aye.
But no, I'm no stripe,
just
no
looks
stripe blue belt.
solid,
Maybe I'll get a
man.
wee stripe if I meet Caroline
Yeah,
with a brown
that's
belt.
true. Yeah, gi looks solid. Every time
Oh,
I just watch gi, I'm like, it just looks
It's
frustrating,
awful.
man. It looks fun, but like,
Aye.
it's like a whole other sport,
Aye,
man.
I would actually really like to do gi. I was talking about this today to some folk in the gym. Lee Mackay was asking me, he's been getting a wee bit into grappling
Oh,
and
is
stuff.
he? Oh, that's cool.
He was
Yeah, because
asking
he's
me
been
about
always
gi.
up sparring at high
Yeah, he
level.
comes every Sunday, but he's doing like a good bit of MMA, like training. Just still, I think he just loves training, to be honest. But he's been training with Fraser Clark doing jiu-jitsu and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was asking me about the gi today, and I was like, I'd love to do it, but I just don't have, because the gi at higher levels at the same time as one of the fighters sessions, and
Right.
then the other gi sessions a day that I don't go up there, so can't. But I will when I was about to say when I'm old, but I'm already old. When I'm older, when I'm older than this.
Fraser's always fucking, he's always doing shit, man.
Aye,
He skydives and all that, like
Yeah.
solo skydives.
I've seen that. He's done like a mad number of skydives, like 200 or something.
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount you need to do to be able to do it yourself.
Yeah.
He's just like on like matches, he's commentating, he's like teaching, he's like fully just committed to
Mhm.
doing it. I love it, man.
Well, he's been doing like grappling sessions, like PTs or whatever, really, and his
Aye.
pal. So
Yeah, my mate Scott, he's just started jiu-jitsu. He's been to MMA for ages, and I've always been telling him to do it. And he did his first class like not long ago up there, and it was Fraser Clark that was teaching him.
aye,
You know
mhm.
how he goes to different gyms
Yeah.
and teaches? It was that. I was like, that's cool as fuck.
I know, that's class.
But wait, what was I going to ask you?
Didn't
First
feel
one's
that I'm
gonna
sitting
ask,
pure
so-
hunched.
Yeah, I'm always hunched, especially in this Vanis hat. It's not a
Try
bad
it.
idea.
Hey, I've got my wee hair thing bumping off the ceiling.
Yeah, I was wanting to ask, just tell us about a bit about your life. Obviously, everybody always asks you like MMA stuff. A lot of stuff I know because I kind of know you as a person the other day,
Yeah.
but I don't really know. Like, I know you've had a bit of a hard upbringing, which a lot of folk have. So I just want you to maybe
We've
talk
spoken
about
MMA.
that
Mhm.
a wee bit.
Well, I'll just kind of tell you. I'd say like my last few years has been a bit like where everything's kind of changed when I've started doing MMA. So I'll kind of fill you in up to there and what's
Aye.
been going on. But I don't know. I don't want to sound like make it pure. Don't know. If I
No,
wouldn't
well,
say,
I
like,
know. I'm just
I
like,
know.
asking for me because I don't really. Like, I know you've
Aye.
had death in the family, you've had
Yeah.
like relationship stuff. Like,
Aye.
I don't really know much about it.
Well,
And if you don't want to tell us,
no,
then
that's
obviously
okay. I don't mind. I wouldn't say I've had like the worst upbringing. I've been lucky. I had like a sister, and me and my sister are really close, and I've got a wee brother who's like crazy, but like we are all the three
I
of us.
didn't know you had a wee brother.
Yeah. He's like 7 years younger than me though, so
It's just
like
wild.
whereas me and my sister are like dead close in age,
Yeah.
but we are dead close, and we just grew up with like my mum, but she had kind of struggles and stuff of her own. It was no like the easiest, but she died like 3 years ago in August there. So
Oh, that's pretty recent. I thought it was like
yeah,
a while ago for some reason.
but it was like no. So it was when I trained at Hit Squad. It happened because I hadn't been doing MMA or anything until just like the end of lockdown.
Right.
So at that time, when I first started training MMA at Neil's, my mum had been kind of unwell and stuff, I'd had a bit of time off work and that. It was kind of not great. So it would be just not that long after I met you, probably.
Right.
She died in the August, and then like I don't want to like get too much into what was going on, but it was just a tough time for us, like as a family and that. But like over time, it was like a big huge bit of my life was like helping my mum with being unwell and stuff and dealing with that.
Aye.
So she died, and it was as if I just kind of like thought that was the worst thing that I thought was ever going to happen, and it happened, and I was like, oh, like I've dealt with this just like I deal with everyone else, and I
Yeah.
think that's what kind of kicked in like all this other stuff that's came since. But so like that happened in the August, and then in the January, I got divorced. I had been like married and in a relationship for like 14 years.
Do you think the death kind of played a part of that? Or?
Yeah, I think it was just a case of like there was so much other stuff going on, you know, like, and I was settled and whatever, and then when that happened, it was just like, yeah, I don't know, it's weird to say, but anyone who's like lost a parent, like, because I don't have a relationship with my dad at all, so I feel like that was like as if you lose both your parents. I think like when you don't have any parents, you have this weird feeling of like, oh, I'm like the top person here. There's nobody like to look
Yeah,
after
yeah.
me.
Aye,
And
that's
even though
true.
like my relationship with my mum wasn't really like that, it just feels like a wee security knowing you're not like top of the family tree. I don't know
Aye.
how else to explain that, but like don't really have much other family. It's certainly not like around here, so it was, I don't know, it just felt like a weird kind of like change in my like, I don't know. I just felt as if I kind of grew up, even though I was like, well, what age would I have been? 31 or something? 30, I think I was 30.
Yeah, because I
Or
feel like
30.
you're always still your mum's like child. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But then it was like, I don't know, it's like a weird switch. You just feel like different. And so then I was just like, do you know what? Like, I can actually do, if I can deal with that, what I dealt with there, because like her actual death was quite like difficult and stuff. And I was like, if I can deal with that, I can actually deal with anything. Like going out on my own is no that scary. And I didn't like, no, I wouldn't like to ever like disrespect my ex or whatever. Like we were together since I was like 17, so just changed like as people, and it was all dead amicable and whatever, but it just like wasn't right. But I was kind of feared to accept that, I think, because I was so used to it. So then I
Yeah,
was just
it's a
like,
big
well,
deal.
if I can deal with this, I can deal with anything. So I just decided, no, like now's the time. I'm not that young. Like I need to like do this. So that was like my first thing I did, was left that relationship, and then I moved in with one of my friends for a while. Then I stayed in my mum's house because it was still like waiting to be sold and all that. So that was a really like tough year, just kind of like milling about. I never moved into my house. Like I bought a flat, then they decided on the week that I was moving in that they didn't want to move anymore. All that stuff, you know, and had my wee dog. It's just like me and my wee dog, just like
Wee
carting
Doris,
about,
man.
folks.
Yeah,
Aye,
bless
wee
Doris.
Doris, I know. Just carting about, staying at my pal's house, staying at like my mum's old house, just like driving about all the time. That's what I done for a year. And then I kind of thought, like, if I can, I started doing jiu-jitsu competitions in that year, because I was like, I was always dead nervous about anything like that. I don't like any kind of fuss, any kind of eyes on me, anything like that. I just avoided totally. But then I was like, you know what, like, fuck it, I'll just do it. So I actually did my first jiu-jitsu competition like 4 weeks after my mum died. At my first ever jiu-jitsu competition. And then I just kept competing that following year. And then I thought, do you know what, like, I'm going to fight MMA, like, and just try it and see what happens. So I did that, my fight, like, the following year. Once I'd, like, moved into my house, settled in that, started fighting, and now my life's just, like, totally different.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was going to ask. I wrote down like how you're able to, because I know you and you get like quite, can you get stressed and a bit of anxiety,
Just a
like
bit.
in the lead up,
Understatement.
in the lead up to like fights or
Oh,
comps or like anything. But you always go through it, like put one foot
yeah,
in front of the other. You always just like do it. Okay, whatever the challenge is, it's
yeah.
just you do
I
it.
never used to be like that, though.
Yeah, and I was going to ask because there's a
Mm.
lot of folk that, me included, that want to do these things and know I can do it, but when it comes to it, there's
You
like
find it
everybody,
easy.
you find reasons not to do it,
Mm.
and then like and then you end up not doing it. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but it's like you always do it.
Yeah.
You
I
always
didn't
turn
used to
up,
be like
and
that. I
it's like,
used to be like, I'd avoid doing things because I was too anxious, or like I used to be so nervous. Like even as a kid, I was so nervous about everything. I'm
aye,
still like that now, but like I used to not be able to deal with it well. So
Yeah.
I would say like that's definitely like a new thing for me. And again, I don't know if it's like after I lost my mum, I just kind of changed. Like I think I just wasn't as scared of stuff anymore in the same way that I used to be. But you know what? This is makes me sound. I feel this is dead cheesy, like right. But
I like cheesy.
one of the things that actually changed my mindset around stuff like that was David Goggins' book. See that Can't Hurt Me, but
Yeah, yeah.
first one.
I've not read it. I listened to it on
I
Audible,
read
man.
it and I listened to it as well. The listen to it's actually better, I'd say, because it's got like the wee challenges all built in, him talking
Yeah,
about what
that's
to
right.
do.
Aye.
But in that, he talks about like doing basically like saying, I made all like notes about it, and that's, but he talks about like doing stuff you're like scared to do. And I, at the time when I listened to that, I remember like I had already done some of the stuff, so I'd like left my relationship and done a few other things, and I was like, well, I've already started doing this, but then I was like, kind of calling myself out, like, there's some things that you could be doing that you're
Aye.
still not doing. So started kind of doing that. Like one of the things I did, I think I've maybe spoke to you this before, but I was like terrified of spiders to like an abnormal extent. Like I couldn't put a glass over a spider. I couldn't nothing. I couldn't kill it. I was terrified to point to have to phone people to help me. And I'd obviously moved out on my own, and I was like, right, this needs to stop. So that was one of the things I was like, right, started dealing with this, and that was off the back of reading that book. And I was like, now I'm like got myself a wee spider tattoo and I'm catching them. I had this big massive one in my house. I caught it and I was like,
Do you have a spider? There's a spider tattoo.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just maybe I should show. Should I show it? Can you even see it?
Yeah, we'll get a photo.
Aye.
We'll insert a photo right
Aye.
here.
But it's that was like, I'm scared of that. I'm just avoiding that. Like deal with it. So I made like a wee plan how I was going to do it, and I like every time I saw one, I
That's
would
cool.
like deal with it, and then I started. This makes me sound like a pure creep, but I started thinking spiders were like coming to me at times that I needed to remember that I wasn't scared of anything.
No,
So
I mean,
like
I believe that. I think the universe does work like
one
that.
day I was in the gym, we were going to a fight. I think it was maybe Holytown Havoc actually. And I went in the gym. I was the first one to arrive, and there was a big spider on the mat, and I was like, I have to catch that because I have to show myself that I'm no scared. And see, whenever like there's been times where I've been like overthinking things about fights and stuff, and then a big huge spider will appear, and I'm like, that's to remind me that I'm not like, why am I even worrying about this fight? I
Yeah,
used to be terrified of spiders, and now I've conquered that. I'm not scared of anything.
that's so
So
cool, man.
don't be scared, homie. That's my motto.
Yeah, that's cool. That's still my favourite
But
t-shirt.
that's why it's because it's just like I used to be
That's
scared of
cool.
loads of things that I didn't need to be scared of, and I don't know if it's because of like all that stuff that happened, but I'm just like
Well, that makes
not
sense
scared.
because, like, that's so weird. One of my questions was going to be, what's your biggest fear? But that's so interesting
My biggest
because
fear is actually getting buried alive, if you want to know. But
I feel like that's a lot of folks' biggest fear.
like,
That's
if I'm
pretty.
not getting too deep about it, getting buried alive has always been something I'm scared of. But anyway, maybe I shouldn't say that in case I've got any like these stalkers. No,
Yeah, you have to like putting it into the
I
universe. It's
mean,
going to happen. Nah,
but
you'll be
no,
fine.
hopefully.
But
I
yeah,
deal with that just like I've dealt with everything else.
that's the one. I know you'd come out being like, I'd get buried alive every week, man. I'm looking at it anyway.
I don't know, bring on.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting way because I do think like obviously I've not lost a parent, but I've lost like best pals and stuff like
Mm.
that. But losing like a parent must be like, after that you must be. I mean, I guess it could go either way. I was going to say it must to some extent feel invincible because it's like right, the worst thing that could have happened
Yeah.
to me has happened to me. So then I can kind of really do anything
And
now.
I know there is obviously loads of worse stuff that can happen, but just in terms of like my situation, it was like a build up through childhood of like a lot of, and I'm not saying like there was obviously lots of good things happened like with my mum and whatever, but there was an over like arching like period of like stress and worry that came
All
with
right.
that. And it just took over a huge part of my life and my sister and brothers, like just like worrying about her and all that. So it was like a wee bit of kind of like all of the thing that I was like obsessing about every day's stopped now. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
And like when I was worrying about it, what was I worried about? Like I was worried that she would die, and now she has died and everything's actually okay. It's sad, but like we're all fine.
Yeah.
And then like when she actually died, like me and my sister and brother were like there, and it was quite like a traumatic day. So that was like it couldn't have really went any worse either. Like the thing that we built up to waiting to happen happened in such a big dramatic like way.
Aye.
So it couldn't have been any worse. And I was just like,
Yeah, and
well,
after it, it's like, oh, we're actually
the
alright.
world's still going on. And I was just like, I was so worried about what a waste of time worrying about that. And don't get me wrong, like it was still worth worrying about because it was sad and that, but I was fine. So I was like, well, but it took me a while to kind of reflect and realise that is
Oh
where I've
yeah.
came to now. But like at the time, I didn't feel like that. But now I look back on like my decision to like then leave and start fighting and all that is all, I think, to do with that. It was like I realised that I was like scared about things that I didn't need to be scared about. And I
Aye.
thought, oh, what else am I scared about that I could do?
That's a great way to look at it because
Aye.
anybody, any kind of successful person, kind of says the same thing. It's like, especially like I listen to Jordan Peterson a lot, and he's always like go towards the dragon. Kind of
Yep.
mean, like whatever the fear is,
And I
whatever's
used to
hiding
see
deep in
that
the
and I used to
depths,
think,
like
no, like that's just like I would see that and think, no, like he's wrong. But it's because I didn't want to do it.
yeah, yeah, 'cause that's the same as everybody. Like nobody wants to do whatever they're fear
Yeah.
of. Like,
And
everybody's
there's always another
holding
dragon
something
because you
back.
think, oh, well, I did this and I did this, so I've already done that. But you always know deep down when there's another one you need to face. And for me, there's been loads of things that I've thought, right, no, the next thing is get rid of this thing that you shouldn't have in your life or like deal with this problem or whatever. And there's always another
Aye.
one.
That's why
So,
I want to fight this year, and it's because like I've always wanted to fight since I started training, but then when I had Moses, it was I don't know a next level of fear.
but
Like
that's got to be like another similar to what I was saying about like losing a parent and feeling like that weird response. Like I felt a huge big responsibility for myself, whereas you'll have that, but for another
aye,
person
aye.
and yourself, because it's like, oh, now I'm the top person.
Yeah, and I've never had it before, and I don't like. That's one of my biggest fears is leaving like my family behind, like either
Hmm.
dying or being like severely injured or hurt where I can't like look after them, like
Yeah,
financially, like anything. I mean, and because before like I had a motorbike, a sports bike, like I'd be driving about like a crazy person, like in
aye,
and out cars at 170 mile an hour, like. And now the thought of doing that, I'm like, there's no way in hell I
aye.
would
You
do that
can't
now.
do
There's
that when
no
you've got a
chance,
child
man.
and you've got a wife,
Aye,
and
and just knowing how much they rely on me for
yeah,
things, I'm like, I just can't. I need to be alive, like for them.
yeah.
But so my fear of fighting now is like elevated. So I'm like,
See,
I'm building it up in my head when I'm like, I like folk fight all the
and I
time,
just
and I
don't ever
find
think of fighting like that. And people always ask me, like, especially I find like people who don't fight ask me, like, ask like different questions. And always ask me like, oh, fear you'll get hurt, and I don't even think about that.
yeah,
I
I didn't
honestly don't.
until I had a win, and now I'm like. In my head, every time I think about got to fight, I'm like, something's gonna happen to me, and I'm gonna
I
be
just think
paralysed
about
for the night
like,
doing.
aye, and honestly, I never. But maybe you just can't think about that. Like
Yeah,
I never think about that. I just think about like my biggest fear going into a fight is always that I don't perform to the best of my ability.
yeah,
I don't like, and although obviously I don't want to lose and I haven't lost yet, and I worry about that sometimes. I'm like, oh, how would I deal with that? I don't worry like, oh my god, what would happen if I lost? What would happen is the world would just continue as normal,
yeah,
and the only person that would
and
care would be
nobody would
me.
actually care.
But I
Aye.
think to myself like, oh, how would I deal with that? Like, how would I handle it if I lost?
Yeah,
But then I think, well, I'd handle it the same way I handled all these other things that I've spoke about that I didn't think I'd be able to ever handle. So I don't worry too much about that. What I do worry about is what if I go in and I don't do my best or like I perform terrible or whatever. But then I think, do you know what? Some of my other fights I've done some stupid things and it's been fine. But
that's
that's
it.
I
And
don't ever
again,
think what if I get paralysed? Maybe I should start worrying about that.
no, I wouldn't. I think it's irrational
I shouldn't.
because the chances of it happening are like fucking, I don't know the percentages,
I
but
know.
it must be slim. It's
Yeah.
obviously happened before, but aye.
Thing
I
is,
know,
as
and I
well,
know I'm building these things up
amateur,
in my head. That's why I want to do it this year because I'm
yeah.
like, these things aren't going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm probably going to get in, I'm either going to win or lose, and I'm going to be fine effort
Yeah.
and be like, that was
And it's
amazing.
amateur,
I'm so
like the
glad I done
ref's
that.
going to stop it if he thinks you're in any.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe it's best to do it when your kids are so young that they won't know you're fighting because
Well,
they
that's
maybe want
partly
to do
why I
what you
want to
think.
do it is to show them like because I don't want to be because this is the fear that's in my head now is the fighting thing because jiu-jitsu comps like I don't mind doing them like
Yeah,
they are I'll get nervous but it's like you could do 100 of them. I
yeah.
mean it's
I get nervous
fighting
for
feels
them just the
different
same
because
though.
there's more of a chance of getting hurt.
Yeah.
But I just
Maybe
don't
that's
want
why
to.
I don't like. See, even like jiu-jitsu comps, I get, and I'm saying it, I feel the same nerves because I mean really nervous, same as I do for a fight. because I just get myself all worked up with the pressure and all that. I'm the same for a jiu-jitsu competition.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, what if this happens with it? But it's always fine.
I'm like that, but maybe because what you said earlier of
Just
just
the
because I
pressure on
want to do my
yourself.
best, I want to do my best, I
Yeah.
want to do well.
So you need to get rid of the fear of getting hurt in the fight and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, my last one, I get suplexed, man, and the current video and everything. Yeah, it wasn't great.
The video would have been shite because it wasn't you that took it.
Yeah, that's true.
So fuck them. No highlight reels getting made out of that.
I'm actually like go to male jiu-jitsu comps and take like, know how folk do. Let's say AJ. Is his name AJ Arujio?
Or
Up
Rouge.
at Marcos,
Rouge, aye.
Aruj. He's so he does a thing. I think a lot of folk do it, but they'll go to comps and then say like, "Kent, I'm gone. Does anybody want footage
Aye.
or content?"
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do stuff like that because you could,
should.
one, you could sell it, you could make money, and two, it's like good exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And you catch some mad highlights.
I know I was going to try and do some more jiu-jitsu competitions, but
Well, that's what I want to do this year, just to get myself ready for an actual MMA fight.
I think I've got to be like so many weeks out of fight and all that nonsense.
Yeah, you'll have some rules, won't you?
Yeah.
What was it like fighting in the PFL? Like, what was the emotions and all that? Like in the lead up to it, like even knowing like Fedula and like
there was
the
just
chance
so
of
much
fighting for them and all that.
I think like there was so much happening. It felt like I don't know. There was so many different things, different factors. The full thing feels like that didn't even happen. But like obviously, for me, like the main focus for that fight, it couldn't be like, this is dead cool. You're in PFL. You're going to be fighting the Hydro. They were all the bits I looked at as like, these are the bits to focus on that are the good bits to take away from like. Usually in a fight camp, although it's enjoyable in some respects, there's that whole thing of like, right, I've got a fight, I need to be focused. What am I going to do? What's my game plan? Like, how am I going to win? All that stuff. So they're all the things you worry and stress about. So I had to make it that all the other bits were the bits that I could then be like, I'm worried and stressed, but I get to fight in Hydro. I get to fight in PFL. So they were like all my positive bits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
But the bits I kind of mostly stressed about was like, it was my first fight in a new gym. So that was like, to me, that was like the biggest change. Because it was my first fight at a higher level. And it was my first pro fight, which it was different, but no drastically, because there was no elbows anyway, so it was really only the gloves and the times and stuff. But it didn't feel massively different, but it was still a big deal because I was like, right, this is like a new record, a new like thing. This is like the start of this becoming like a career for me. So that was like a big deal. Whereas all the other stuff to do it being like in the Hydro and it was PFL and all that to me was just dead exciting. I loved it.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was great. And see, like all the media stuff leading up to it, I was dead nervous because I thought, oh God, I'm going to get asked to do all these interviews and I'm going to hate it. And actually, as much as I don't necessarily like doing it at the time, like it was nice to see that, like for example, PFL, they like really pushed like me as like a fighter being on it, and I was like, I love that they're doing that because that's like they don't need to do that. There's hundreds of better folk than me in the card, but they
really
want to like push the Scottish fighters. And I was saying like to folk as well at the time, like we were so lucky that happened. Like for me, Coonley, Lorenzo, Mark, and Stevie were all meant to be on it, but obviously Coonley ended up not being on it. But Coonley and Lorenzo and I all got multi-fight deals for that.
That's cool.
And I was like, if they weren't coming to Glasgow, like I probably definitely wouldn't have got one. Lorenzo and Coonley maybe they would have, but maybe not then.
Aye.
It was the fact they were coming to Glasgow was what kind of sealed the deal in a way. And I certainly don't think I'd have got signed a multi-fight deal with PFL for my pro debut if they weren't coming to Glasgow.
Aye.
So then I'm like, if that was a good show, they come back next year, which fighters from either our gym or other gyms in Scotland are going to get that same opportunity because they're coming to Glasgow. So it's dead exciting in terms of like Scottish MMA because obviously they were kind of promoting that I was like the first Scottish fighter in 7 years to fight MMA in the Hydro.
Yeah, that's cool. And I loved the fact they were pushing like the teacher fighter.
I know, see that?
It was that poster, and I know everybody hated that poster.
It was
I
so
loved
funny. See when they sent me it, they were calling me a diva and that because I was like, oh my God. I was like, you can't, I'm sorry, I hate it. And I was like, no, I don't hate it. I'm just being dramatic. It's fine. I just was like, I just couldn't believe they were like, they cared that I was in it.
Yeah.
And I also can't believe that folk care I'm a teacher. I know that sounds really stupid, but see to me, like, it's mad that I'm a fighter it's not mad that I'm a teacher because I was already a teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
So like to
It should
me,
be that
I've
way.
just been a teacher for so long, I just think it's totally normal. And then when folk are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're a teacher," I'm like, I can't believe I'm a fighter. Like that's mad. But
It's because to most folk, they just see you fighting and that, and then they're like, and to most folk, being an MMA fighter, like if I was at school and we had a teacher that was an
yeah,
MMA fighter, it'd be the coolest thing on the
the
planet,
Wednesday
man.
they love it. They
You'd
think
be
it's
like,
class. Aye.
no, she's fucking cool as fuck.
Aye.
She's an actual fighter. Like she'd kick your head in.
They think it's cool and they'll say to me like, "I was watching you on YouTube," or they'll say like, "Matt, a wee girl was saying the other day, my mum was jealous because Jerry Cinnamon follows you on Instagram." I was like, "That's so cute." And obviously, I mean, like, she was like, "I saw a picture of you with 3 boys and you had a green jacket on." So it's obviously I was standing outside the hydro, and I'm like, "That's cute."
Yeah, I followed
they
Jerry
care
Cinnamon
about
after that.
Aye.
I was like trying to get the follow. I was like, well, I wonder if he'll follow me, but he didn't.
I must like my walkout tune, I think.
Yeah, that's
Oh
cool.
shit, I'm kicking your door. But aye, the Wednesday love it. It is cool, but like, I think like, folk, I don't know. It's weird. I think like people who know me, it's weird that I'm a fighter, but it's also not that weird because I like see like my pals and like my sister and that. They're all just like, "Oh, there's just Gemma did something weird again." Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. And plus, I'm always obsessed with stuff. So I don't think they were that surprised when I got obsessed with MMA. I think they were just like surprised that I fought because they know I would be nervous.
Aye.
But like folk that know me, I think are just like folk that know me really well are like no that surprise. But I think like people who know what I'm like as a person, it's more like see when they watch me fight,
Aye.
they're like, "Oh my god!" Like folk at my work will be like, "I can't believe that was you." Like I can't believe you were doing that, and I'm like, "That's what I have today."
Yeah.
But I don't know what they thought I was doing before. Whereas it'll be the opposite way around. Folk that have only seen me fight, if they were, see if you were to see me in my class, you'd be like,
Yeah,
"What
like,
a
oh my
loser."
god, what's going on?
See, like now I'm getting bigger ones, it's not as bad. But see, when I was in like the wee ones, like P2s and all that, you're like dead cringy and that. Folk must be like,
Yeah, it's
that
funny.
lassie's not a fighter. But
'Cause that's what I love about fighting and jiu-jitsu. It's like you don't know who's like, especially jiu-jitsu. You get some
aye.
like the person I think all the time is Shea Montague. Is that how
Yeah,
you say his name?
I think so.
And I just think like if you saw him in the street and you'd be like, that guy can kill like
Oh, aye.
everybody
fuck
on
you up.
this street, you'd be like,
Yeah,
no, he can't. Like, there's
aye.
no way that guy can do that.
I know. I
And
know.
he's so good. You're like, it's so funny,
I
man.
think like the best folk in jiu-jitsu are like quirky and kind of different and that. Like you've
Yeah,
got that wee
got autism.
vibe. Well, aye. That's probably why I'm
That's
so.
true though. Like,
I'm
look
that
at
good.
Mikey Musumeci and that, and you
Aye,
just
I
like,
know.
oh yeah, you could tell why they're
Yeah.
amazing at it. Like,
I know. Then you get folk with like all cool jobs and like mad lives and all that. That's like
yeah, that's what I like about. That's the one thing I liked about coming into the gym when I started at Hit Squad is all the folk in there. A lot of them probably wouldn't be pals if it wasn't
yeah.
for
Or you
Ken,
would
because
meet
they're so
each other.
different, man.
Like me and Greg are like really good pals still now. I don't even train there, and like he's like a 23-year-old plumber, and I said,
That's what
mad.
I just mind meeting Jack Moore. And like
Aye.
him and Paige have got a good relationship.
Oh,
Kind
aye.
of go back and forth in the joke and rip the
Uh-huh.
pish. But before I'm always like, you two would never
I know.
probably be pals.
And
You
me
probably
and
wouldn't even like each other.
Paige, we're so close, and we haven't even trained together for ages. And I'm like, we should not be pals.
Yeah.
Like based on our like us on paper, it's so weird.
I like Paige. She's
She's class.
got different personalities for different like sometimes I meet her and it's like this kind of uni voice, like
Aye.
kind of
Honest to
like
God.
that accent and the personality, and then
Aye.
sometimes she's just rough as nails,
Aye.
and like
I love
I
it.
do like it. It's funny,
She's
man.
moving away in a few weeks to Thailand.
Aye, I was talking to her. I know.
Mhm.
That's
And
cool.
she's class.
Eh,
No, I know
on
what
that
you mean.
note,
There's just loads of different folk about.
yeah, I was going to ask about can you tell us the story of the move to higher level for Hit Squads? You don't
Yeah.
need to tell all the details, but what's
Aye.
kind
I
of
will
what
tell
happened
you,
there?
like, so what I would say is there's like lots of kind of background, whatever, but like for me, the only thing that matters about it all is like the situation between like me and Neil, because he was my coach, and like my pals that I trained with that supported me, like Davey and Greg were probably like my closest people there. Like, if it wasn't for them, especially Davey, like I would never have stepped in a cage. Like, so like for me, I cared most about what they all thought about it. And like Neil and I obviously like went through like 6 fight camps in 9 months together. So like that makes you like
Oh yeah, of
close,
course,
and
aye.
I trusted him so much with like the full journey because I had no idea what I was doing. Like I didn't even know what MMA was when I started training. Like I didn't have a clue. So I think like he'd kind of said to me when I started, like, it just came out of nowhere, honestly. Like, I started fighting because I just thought, I wonder if I can, like, do this. And then after, like, I remember there being, like, a wee change in my mindset. Like, after the second fight, I was like, I've had 2 first round submissions. Like, that's not that easy to do. Like, and my second opponent was, like, experienced in that. And I was like, nah, like, this might actually be, like, something I'm actually quite good at. And I remember, like, after third, I think it was after my third or fourth fight, like, had a conversation with Neil, and he was kind of the same. He was starting to, like, make me think, like, you're actually, like, probably going to do, like, quite well with this. And we need to have a plan, and you need to do this. And I was like, oh, I'm just doing this for fun. But then at that point, even then, he was like, you might need to think about, like, in the future, like, training elsewhere, whatever. So, like, it wasn't as if it came out of nowhere. And then in February last year, I started training at higher level on a Sunday, just going to fighter session. And when I started going up there, I was like,
That's right. I
if
mean, you and Davey went
yeah.
once, and he's come back, and he's all like, that was
So
fucking
Davey and I went. It was one time. I think there was, like, we weren't training on the Sunday. Something, everybody was away at something, I think, and I was like to Davey, let's go to higher level. I'm going to ask. I'll just message James and see if it's okay. So he's, like, the soundest guy ever. So he was like, aye, no bother. Well, it's actually Kieran I messaged first because I knew him from, like, baseline and that.
oh,
And he was like, oh, we don't
I
have
didn't know he trained there.
Kieran Reid.
Aye.
Aye, he coaches there too.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I
I
didn't
had
know
to
that.
say, he was he's, like, probably, I'd say, like, the kind of main coach other than
Sure.
James. No, Kieran's at higher level. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you mean you didn't know he was at higher level, right?
Oh, I
no,
thought that-
he
that's
used to
not my
sometimes
baseline.
no, he used to sometimes come and train there.
Oh, right.
Just
Aye, I
used
know
to come
you're
and
high
roll
level.
there. Sorry, I was
Right.
like, what?
Right,
Where have you been?
sorry, my bad,
Sorry,
my
no.
bad.
So Kieran used to sometimes come and roll at baseline,
Right.
and his girlfriend Fee, they used to come
Aye,
and roll.
I met her.
So I had messaged him, and he was like, aye, absolutely come, that's fine. It's not an open mat though, it's like sparring, because I thought it was an open mat on a Sunday, because we'd went for the interclub one of the times and they'd had their open mat.
Aye.
I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, we'll go for sparring. And then me and Davey went up and we were like, I remember, like, because you don't get a second in between, like, anything to talk or do anything, you're just, like, full on the full time. We went to change our gloves from, like, big gloves to wee gloves. And I remember I just turned to Davey and was like, are you getting absolutely smashed? He was like, yes. Are you? I was like, yes. I was like, thank God it's not just me. And I didn't win a single scramble. I just got absolutely smashed. And I was like, there's 2 ways you could look at this. You could say, I'm never coming back here again. Or you could say, I have to come back here every week, like, till I'm not getting smashed every scramble. So I was like, right, do I really want to get better? Aye, so I need to do it. So I started going every Sunday to the fighter session, and then I just felt like I was doing myself a disservice by no going more.
I'm
Do you
not
know what I
using
mean?
this facility
And I
and be able to
thought, like,
focus in.
I love the hit squad and whatever, but I just thought, like, I felt there was kind of things, like, I just kind of thought it's my time maybe to move on. It felt kind of like natural. Everything was just sort of fitting in to make sense to go there.
Yeah,
and
you
I
have a
thought,
gut feeling, especially.
yeah.
You kind of know it's right.
And I just knew, and I felt really comfortable at higher level, and everyone was so nice and welcoming, and everyone was so good. Like, I couldn't believe how good everyone was. I was just like, these people are like, and it's different. Like, Hit Squad's different because it's mostly amateurs, and, like, obviously people are. It's not like everyone's whole life there.
Yeah.
Whereas it was mine very quickly, and that's just what I'm like as a person. Whereas I went there and it was like, this is all their lives.
Aye.
Like, these folk are in the gym more than me. Like, this is where I need to be. And then I spoke to Neil about it. I wanted to try and kind of split my training between the two, but that just didn't, it just couldn't be like that. So I ended up moving on, and me and Neil were, like, totally fine about it. Like, I spoke to him about it before I made the decision. James, being James, like, first thing he said was, like, if it's sound with Neil, we'll have you kind of thing. Like, he's, like, dead respectful in that sense too. And so I just thought, I thought this is going to be, like, so stressful. Like, how am I going to travel to Bathgate? But I was just like, I'll just do it because I need to, because how can I no train here now? It was like, once I'd been up there going to classes and that, I was like, I have to go. I have to.
Yeah, because how much you drive? How many miles do you do every day?
So, like, it's like,
time wise.
I think it's 55 miles from my house to higher level. So I'm like, just now in the winter, I'm like an hour and a half to get there, and then it's about just over an hour on the way home.
Yes,
So like
aye.
2.5 hours a day driving, aye. It's
That's
pretty solid, but
dedication, though. That's what you need if you're
I know.
Ken.
And
And you
that's the thing,
spoke. I
there's
mean, earlier we spoke about you moving, wanting to move there,
I
but
know. I think I might need to think about
logistics.
moving soon, but it's just aye, it's because I don't see anybody at home anyway because I'm always driving places.
Yeah,
And then when I'm off on a Friday now from work, so I can train, but I'm there all day because there's no point in coming home and whatever. But aye, I just thought, well, I'll just need to make the move and I'll just need to make it work. And then like I literally moved there, and the next thing I knew, it was PFL were popping up and everything just started happening, and I was just like, this is what I was meant to do. And
that's
yeah,
cool.
I think for me, the main problem is most people would just be like, oh, it's not a big deal, like just move gym and that's just what you did. But for me, like as a person, I just overthink everything so much, and I felt so like loyal to Hit Squad and I didn't want to leave. But at the same time, I was like, this is what's best for me, so I had to do that. And people have opinions about that, and that's fine. But Neil and I like have had the conversations to know like I did the like what was the best thing for me. He agrees with me that, and so does like the main folk that I trained with that were close to me and stuff. And so many people have Hit Squad are still dead supportive of me and whatever. So it was
That's cool.
definitely the right thing, and I'm
Oh,
so
aye.
happy at higher level, so comfortable there, and I'm just like I know of the fact that I get to train with the people that I'm training with, and James is just like
Yeah, they're all
like
sound up there,
coach.
man. Like, obviously when I first started it coming up, I was nervous as fuck. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, it's
I know, like,
intimidating.
aye, Ken,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of good folk in here. It's like,
They're just
and I'm just
lovely.
some new weird guy with a
I
camera,
know.
like, hi guys.
Aye.
But everybody's brand new, man.
Uh-huh.
Like Mark Ewan was like basically one of the boys now, like
Aye.
stuff like that. So it's cool. It's cool to.
Yeah. I think like because I'd started going up like once a week and they were really accepting of that at first when I was still training elsewhere, it was less scary when I joined full time. I think everyone was just kind of waiting for the day that I said I was joining full time because I think people must know like if someone
Oh, aye,
sticks it out on a Sunday session, like and they're serious about fighting, they'll move there because it's like
aye.
it's unbelievable. And it's just again, it's like no disrespect to like Hit Squad was amazing. It's just the difference of like where I am now, like and there's so many other pros there and stuff. It's like different and there's like just it just depends on what part of your journey you're on. And obviously for me it was the best thing for like loads of reasons. So aye, it's worked out.
And so this is a thought. I've always thought this, man, since I've been travelling about. But so you know how there's always, and this when I used to do CrossFit, it was really like this. Kind of all the CrossFit gyms hated each other. There was such a
Hmm.
rivalry between them all. And there's a wee bit of that in MMA gyms, not so much. Ken, most gyms are pretty
Yeah.
cool with like folk training
Hmm.
here, there, and like, but there's still a wee bit of like stuff.
Oh,
And
aye.
I've always said to folk like, since traveling about and going to all different gyms and meeting folk, I'm like, see if all of these folk were in one big gym, like, you would all be. Let's see if high level and yes, your hit squad and all that train together. You would all be like best
I
pals.
know.
It's like everybody's the same.
And
I mean?
it would make everyone better, but at the same time, you need opponents, you need
Oh, aye, you need
competition, and you
aye. Oh,
need.
definitely. That's
It's
why you need
hard.
it.
Like I
But
think that balance is quite hard to get. Like you need training partners, and I definitely think like you need training partners from other gyms sometimes. Like higher levels a bit different because it's so big. There's so many people there,
aye.
but for other gyms, they don't have that. Like they don't have as many people, so you do need like different people to train with and whatever. But then, especially girls, like you,
Oh yeah, they're
like
hard to come
see
by, man.
jiu-jitsu. There's no way you can sign up to jiu-jitsu competition. There's not going to be somebody in your category that you know that you've
Yeah.
trained with. Like that's just the way it is. But I think I kind of feel like that too. Like it's like Scotland. Do we need to be all fighting each other? All the folk for Scotland probably no. Like
No, I mean, I still think it's healthy. It's not. That's when
oh
it
aye.
wasn't what I was getting at. It was more just like, can folk get into their wee tribes,
Mhm.
especially in gyms, like everywhere. Like folk just find a group of pals, and it's like, can you on the our pals? So it's like yous are kind
Yeah.
of like, yeah.
Aye.
But it's like, if you kind of got to know them, and it's funny because Andrea always. This is so off topic, but I don't know if you've been watching. We watched the show Traitors,
No, I've not seen
and
it.
Claudia Winkleman presents it, and I don't hate Claudia Winkleman, but she really annoys me. I don't know what it is, just something about her,
I bet
and
you
it's
hung about where you maybe like her.
her face and her makeup and all that stuff. And Andrea always says she's like, I know for a fact. Like every time she comes on, and
Aye.
I'm like, oh, Claudia Winkleman. She's, I know for a fact if you were to meet her, you would really like her and probably get on
Aye.
with her. And I'm like, I
To be
probably
fair
would.
though, I think like everyone knows that. Like I think everyone knows they would get on with
Yeah, I think
everybody else.
so.
I thought you meant in terms of like training with each other, but no, I don't
I
think.
just
And I
think
definitely don't
sometimes.
think it like. I don't. There's no gym that I would be like. Oh, I can't go there because I wouldn't like them because I know that. Well, they probably are like me because they like MMA or
Yeah, that's
jiu-jitsu,
that
so
about all the
everyone's just the
gyms.
same. I've never been to another gym where I've like no like the folk.
Aye,
Do you know what I mean? You
yeah, I'm the
might get
same.
like other gyms that are different attitude to training or different like way how they work things and stuff. You definitely get that, but there's obviously like folk in life you just don't get along with or whatever. But
Yeah,
like
there's always going to be individuals, but
I just kind of go and just try and get
these
along with
gyms.
everybody.
What else? What else is I going to ask? I think we've covered quite a good bit.
Aye.
Well, this is going to be a good one. So, if you were told you could never do MMA again, like today, if somebody told you that, like, what would you do
Does
with
that
your
mean I
life?
can't do like jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, you can't train MMA.
Because if I couldn't fight
Maybe do another
MMA,
sport.
if I couldn't fight MMA, I would want to just do jiu-jitsu. I just love it, but I'm not allowed to do that.
Or any MMA, any martial arts.
So I couldn't do any martial arts. I honestly don't know. Someone's asked me this before, and I just don't have a clue. Probably something dead weird.
High rocks or some shit.
No, I'd still train. I used to just train like a bodybuilder. I used to just do weights all
Oh,
the
yeah,
time, and
because
I
you still
did like
do weights, that didn't you?
yeah, but I used to do like me and my friend Megan. So like me, Aiden from Hit Squad,
Aye.
his mum Megan,
Oh, right,
her and
aye.
I used to train together, and we used to do weights. We did like a weightlifting program, like 5-6 times a week. We used to do that and like run and do MetaFit and stuff. So I'd go back to doing that for training. But if it was to be like a hobby that wasn't something to do with training, I honestly have no idea. It'd be something weird. I'd take up something weird just to learn.
Yeah,
I
just
really
find
want to
something.
learn this. Isn't I don't know if this counts, but I really want to learn how to play chess and get really good at it. So maybe I could start doing that.
Yeah, we just watched that. What's that?
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, we just
Oh,
watched that the other day again. I
it's
saw it ages
class.
ago, but every time I watch it, I'm like, I want to play chess all the time.
Yeah, I'm planning on watching that again soon because I took a chess book home from my work for kids to how to teach
I've
kids how
bought
to
a
play
chess game
chess.
one year.
Well, I'm going to learn how to play it. So that's my goals for this year. But so
That's
maybe
cool.
chess.
That's cool.
How
Yeah, I'd like to.
how nerdy is that compared to MMA?
Yeah, I
My
mean,
teacher's an MMA fighter. My teacher plays
folk
chess.
always say jiu-jitsu is like chess, physical
Yeah,
chess,
well,
I
I
guess.
know, but hopefully that will never happen. I would hate that.
Yeah, chess is so interesting. It's I
Imagine.
always thought I was good at chess because I used to play with like my wee brother all the time, and I would beat
Aye.
him all the time. And I was like, I'm
Realised you
good.
just wasn't
And
good.
then I watched it and I was like, oh wait, I'm just like,
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
guessing.
I honestly have never played it. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I don't even know if I'll like it, but I'm determined I'm going to get good at it.
Oh no,
I
you'd
think it
like
would
it,
just
man.
make me smart.
Your ADHD would be like
Aye.
kicking.
Kicking in, hopefully. Memorising the chessboard and thinking about it in my bed and that. I'm just
Aye.
obsessed. I can't start it now when I'm still doing MMA, otherwise I'll be obsessed with that. Can...
What else is I going to ask? That's what I was going to ask, really. Trying to get anything else to talk about. I was going to ask, I don't know if you want to answer this, about your love life. No? Is there
Oh
a love
no.
life?
I would just wouldn't answer it if you asked me, so.
Right, I'll
Too
not then.
secretive. I like to keep things private. I already feel like nervous that I've spoke about things that I don't normally say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, dude.
I
That's fair
have
enough.
get
I get
like
that.
fight news, but I can't.
Can I talk
You
about it?
can't. Aye.
Can you tell me
I'll tell
off
you.
camera?
Aye. But
Right.
I don't think you should. I shouldn't say. I was told not to say anything.
Is it PFL fight news?
Mhm.
Oh, right. I've not even checked when they're like.
I don't think they've announced the dates yet.
Right.
So
The the France card's been hinted. That's been and gone.
aye, that was December. That was the
Aye.
finals of the tournament.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause that Connor Hughes boy got beaten,
Yeah.
didn't he? I feel
That
bad
was.
for him. I quite like him, man. I've been talking to him now and
Aye.
again.
The worst I felt so bad for Chanel Dyer. She was supposed to be in the final, female flyweight
Aye,
final, and she
got
wasn't
injured.
well, so she couldn't do it.
She's cool too.
She
She's
is,
another
yeah.
person. There's a few folk down for that
Aye.
gym. So there's a boy. Eh, fuck, I'm blanking on his name. A Pakistani guy, and he's like I've gave him some joint lock stuff. Super
Right.
big fan of it, cool as fuck.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
he went out to Pakistan to fight in whatever the kind of big promotion is there, and he won by Japanese necktie, and he called it Pakinese necktie.
That's class.
I was like, mate, you
I
need
can't
to
think of
you
that.
need to rebrand that.
That's cool.
I can't mind.
Aye,
his
there's
name, man.
so many cool folk about. It's great. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing
He's
I'd
doing it
say
that
is
gym. He
like
trains with all them, and
aye,
it's like
it's
a
good
good crowd.
about PFL getting to kind of meet different folk and stuff. Like
Aye.
there's like new people about and
Yeah, that's cool.
different opponents and stuff like that. Like that's
I
like
was well fanboying on Dan Hardy, man. I seen him, I was like, just play it, be cool,
Aye.
be cool.
I was
It's
on
gonna
his
happen.
podcast just before the fight.
Oh yeah, oh
Aye.
that's cool as fuck.
Aye.
Yeah, he was actually brand new, man.
Aye,
He
he's
actually
lovely.
spoke to me, like just says like, kind of how you doing and that,
Yeah,
like,
he's nice.
aye.
Aye. I know, it's cool though. It's weird just being about the folk,
Yeah,
but
just
see,
because when you watch
I'm
them,
just a weird person. I think I just was like, I didn't get too overwhelmed by it all. Like, I think people were probably a bit like, oh, like, how's she going to handle the fact that my sister said, like, she never watches my fights or anything because she gets so nervous, but she watched that one. And like loads of my friends and that came to see it in person, so I think she was like, I need to at least watch it in the
yeah.
telly. And she said both my nieces just like hid and couldn't watch it. My nephew's just wee, he wouldn't have a clue what's happening. He's just shouting punch on and that. But my
I
sister
love
said
that
that
at fight shows
aye,
when folk on
she,
the train,
they just say like
they're just like,
punch
fucking
him,
kill him.
kill him.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't kill him, I don't you should. Anyway, she said that when she seen me walking out, she said like she looked at my face and she was like, oh no, like what she looks like overwhelmed, like what if she's overwhelmed, like, and I was like, I just didn't even, I was just like, this is cool, but I
Yeah,
didn't,
that's
I
cool.
was just like, I'm just going out to fight, it's already overwhelming going out to
Yeah.
fight. So I didn't
I get
really,
nervous as fuck watching folk, like, watching
oh
you,
yeah,
I was like, even the walkout and that, I'm like, oh my god, like,
aye, it is nerve-wracking,
don't know
but
if I can
see,
do
like,
this.
it wasn't like, oh my god, like, this is PFL, or it's on DAZN, or like Dan Hardy's there doing my way in
Yeah.
announcement, or that. I was just like, I don't know, just went with it. Like,
Like a
even on the
video.
bus, I was talking about it after, I was on the bus with like Stevie Ray telling me about his other fights, and I'm just like, this is my life now. How cool.
A funny video is that the video I took of you at BMF winning that title. There's like when you win,
Oh,
I shout out this and make this noise, man. I'm like, yeah! Like
that's class.
I was obviously just so like
I mean,
nervous
that
and
was the
watching it. It was
most
hilarious, man.
exciting fight like
That
I've
was amazing,
had.
man. Because it was like back and
What a
forth. It was like
comeback. The
first three, I was
no,
like,
it went
she's
from
lost this.
first two rounds.
Yeah, you get
I
fucked the
was
first two
done.
rounds.
First round, I was in a rear naked choke with my arm trapped, fully locked in.
That's right.
I get out of that. Then I was in an armbar in the second round. Third round, I was like, why am I trying to no grapple when that is the only thing I can do? And I went out and wrestled. Third round, kind of pulled it back, and then obviously get a finish in the fifth round. It was the most. I mean, I'd never lost a round in a fight till then.
Yeah, that third round it changed the
It was the most
changed the fight.
satisfying.
And
Win,
Amy
'cause I was
looked
like,
like she got tired because
I
she must have been out hard in the first couple.
roll with her a couple of weeks ago. She's amazing. Her
Yeah, I've seen her. I've
grappling's ridiculously
been at an open mat with her, and
so
I
that
always
was a
bump into her.
test.
I see her all the time on things. She was at submission series.
Aye, her jiu-jitsu is unbelievable. So that was like that match for me was like the proper with one where I was like, I can do this.
Yeah,
I've got this. But
that was
aye.
cool as fuck.
And then I lost the first round, probably I'd say on Cage Warriors, and I was like, oh no, I can't start making this happen.
That's right, too. I watched that in the telly, and I was like,
first round finishes. So I really, really wanted a first round finish in that PFL fight because I was like, started my amateur career with a first round finish, and it went so well. Like, and in my head, I didn't want to like jinx it, but in my head, I was like, I need to get another first round finish because I want that again. But I was like, it'll just be great if I win. My opponent, obviously, got a new opponent, and then she had like 9 first round submission wins at amateur.
Stuffed, man.
And I was like,
okay.
okay.
I thought, how close was some of the armbars? I thought she was close with some.
To be honest,
I was way back, so it's hard to see.
One of them was like, I wasn't close, like, I wasn't even thinking about tapping, but it was like, she got my arm, I can't really remember, it's almost like a blur. The other ones weren't like,
yeah, you were never, she'd never locked it out or anything.
But the last one, she got my arm out in the third one. I think it was the third one, but she did get my arms separated, and I remember just thinking, it's okay, you can still punch with a broken arm. If your arm breaks, just let that arm break.
Man.
But then I got out, I just stepped over her head and got out, but there was none of them where I was like, shit, like, yeah, I'm in serious danger here. Only enough danger to make moves, but I wasn't like panicking. That's the thing, like, I think I'm quite good at just remaining calm in the fight when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, you never really seemed too worked up.
No, which is a surprise because I didn't have to deal with that for so many of my fights.
Aye.
Like, it took me to the 5th fight to have to be in a bad position, but again, going up to high level on a Sunday and losing every scramble will teach you.
That's it. You build your confidence in the gym. Yes. I mean, like when you've been in bad positions so many times, it's like, oh, I put myself in.
I was putting myself in the armbars. I was laying the armbars on a plate for her. That's just what I'm like. Sometimes in training, I'm just doing things like that because I'm no hinking properly, or I'm doing something else, or something just happens. And sometimes people are just good at getting you in positions they want you to be in, and you have to deal with it.
It's so funny at Hit Squad, like all the youngins are getting so like good now, and like I hardly train as much anymore. So when I get in my head, I'm still like, can I still let folk get my back and get? But
And
now
you're
I'm
like,
like, I know I'm like, oh,
aye,
they actually might finish me.
aye, aye, I know.
I need to come up and like roll with you and that.
Aye, you
I
should
miss rolling with you, man.
I know, it'd be
That was
cool.
always fun as fuck.
I'd absolutely
Scrambles and
smash
like,
you now. No, like,
oh, you
oh
100%
my
would.
god.
I train like once every 2 weeks now, man.
I'm just
Just
kidding,
try
because
twisting
I'm so
everybody.
good. I'm just kidding.
That's all I've done the last year
You
and a
just
half.
remember you used
It's
to
just,
twist me all the time. I
yeah,
learned. Sharpie taught me how to not get twisted.
the last year all I've done is just try to know how to get to the twister from every position I can think
Yeah,
of.
Stevie A. Ask Stevie A for a wee twister, Scottish twister
Yeah, the
PT.
Scottish twister still. I need to be caught in that to see.
Yeah, how
Because when
it.
you watch it, you're like, it
What?
doesn't look like you're like that. Does not look like you would tap for
I
that.
know.
But
It's mad.
obviously, who that Archer? Do you know that Archer boy? Spanish boy goes out with what's the wee Brazilian lassie? They both trained down in England.
Oh,
Oh,
I
you'll
don't
know who
know.
I'm talking about. She was at BMF, the wee Brazilian lassie.
Oh, are you talking about Frederica?
Is it Frederica? Is
She's
that her name?
Italian, I think.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, Frederica. I can't remember. Is it De Filippo or something? She trains with Chanel Dyer.
Aye, aye.
Great British top
I
team.
don't think she was Brazilian.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm sure she's Italian.
Anyway,
But
her
at the week
man,
she's like
Archer.
she was fighting that Lindsay Payne for her
Aye, aye,
debut.
aye.
Aye.
So Archer catches folk on like Scottish twisters all the time. He put a highlight hang up. And I didn't know, so I've bumped into him a few times. And he was at submission series. I got a good video of him and I've been talking back and forth and he's only 21-year-old.
Oft.
When I talk to him, I'm like,
So
he
old.
seems like 30.
Aye.
And he's 21. He's had like almost 100 like wins, like submission wins. And like, I don't know, he's good, man. And he hits like Scottish twisters all the time. And I'm always like, oh, I wanna like,
Yeah, I was
since
saying
you've been doing
put
this.
me in a Scottish twister.
Aye. I do want to feel it, man. I want to just see,
Aye.
just to know the mechanics. Like, right, how the fuck does this work? Because it looks like it's a body lock for the front, and then they try and turn in, and then they get like, is it a
I
neck
can't even
crank?
think
I
like
don't
in
even
my
know.
head without looking at it anymore, like what it's like. But I mean,
You're definitely keeping the hips square, I think, and then their bodies turned into.
I would need to watch it again.
Yes, but it's
That's
such a
Stevie
weird submission,
should
man.
be. I used to
It's
get caught in
mad Stevie
twisters
hit
all the
that.
time, but then I asked Sharpie why I was getting caught in them and he told me, so now I don't. So you won't get me in that anymore.
Yeah, I can only ever get white and blue belts, like
I'm
in
still a blue
twisters.
belt.
Yeah, but you're a seasoned blue belt now.
I don't know.
Anytime I try and get it on like anything good, especially
Aye.
black belts, like I cannot get it on Neil, man.
No.
He just knows he just doesn't let me get into that position.
I feel like you wouldn't tap to that.
It's only the easiest ones are white and blue belts because a lot of times you don't even
Know
know.
what it is.
A lot of times you've got the one hook.
I mean, white belts aren't even allowed to do twisters
Yeah, I
in
know.
comps.
But I know I never actually twist the white belts. I just get them in a position and then
So
I'm
you
like,
know
right,
you
I know
can.
I can get it, and then I just take the practice. But because white belts all go into it themselves without even,
Aye.
but they're like hooking and they turn into it, and you're like, oh, aye, I forgot, like they don't know what's going on. But folk at his squad, all the youngins are getting off a good, man.
Aye.
Where I'm like, oh,
I
right, this
wish,
is
like, I can't,
shit.
I don't wish, because maybe it would have been different, but I just think to myself, imagine if I'd started this when I was young. Because I am old.
Everybody thinks that though, man.
No, I
But
know,
they
but
started it now, so
I started it when I was old. But I just think that, like, see, when you see, like, see Stephen Clancy, he's 18.
yeah, he's
18.
gonna be insane.
So that's him
man.
6-0 now, which is what I went amateur, but at 18.
Yeah, he's gonna be a
Mental.
superstar, man. Because he's
Yeah.
got like,
Oh, yeah, he's got the charisma.
he's got
all
the
this
X
stuff.
factor. He's
Yeah.
got everything, man. He's got like the looks. He's got the ability. He's
Yeah.
got like
He's got
just
the
the
work ethic,
character,
the
man.
discipline. That's all the bit that usually folk with that side, they don't have both.
Aye.
And he's got
he's at
Sean,
a
like,
good
to look
place.
up to, and
That's it.
Sean's there training with him. He's got him to, like, to see, like, this is where I can go.
Aye.
And then Sean's obviously got, like, people like Paul and that to look up to. There's, like, a pathway for all these, like, young
Oh,
guys of, like, where I'm going to go. There's so many good young guys at higher level. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Stephen
fucking,
is just...
He's gonna be a
Yeah,
superstar,
he's going to
man.
be great. Sean as well. I mean, I'm saying
There's
that
a
as
few
if,
of them,
like...
man. They're all like
as if
Lorenzo,
Stephen's, like, dead. I
Kunle,
know, but I'm
like-
saying this as if Stephen's young and they're all, like, no young. But
Yeah.
they actually are, like... I think Lorenzo's, like, 24.
Oh my god,
I
feel
know.
old as fuck.
Sean's, like, 23 or something.
Is he?
Like, something like that. He's not, yeah, they're young, and I'm old.
And that's the thing, like, because high level does have a lot of fucking high level folk.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, so much so that all the kind of names you know, like you kind of know like Lorenzo, Mark, Sean, Stephen, like
Dylan.
Kia, Dylan, like all these folk, Kunlee,
Yep.
and out with that, there's a bunch of folk that are like
Like Aaron
fucking
Oliphant.
killers too. Aye, and like
He's
Elliot.
yeah,
What's
Elliot.
the
And
guy? There's a guy with a mullet. I forget his name. Kind of shorter guy, like dark hair, mullet.
Mullet?
I don't know.
Oh,
Kind
Chris
of.
Morris.
Aye,
Aye.
Morris. Like, he's pretty good. Like I've not obviously saw that
Yeah.
much of some folk, but
There's loads of good folk, and then you've got like Paul Lally.
Paul
Logan
Lally, Paul
McGonigal.
Lally. I love Paul Lally,
He's
man.
so good. It's
He's
ridiculous.
just watching him. I'm like, I could just watch him
He's got
all
beautiful
day, man.
like striking and beautiful jiu-jitsu.
Aye.
It's crazy.
He's
Aye,
just
but
the
there's
way
like
he
people
moves,
like him
man.
just
So
like
good.
under the radar because he's not fought in a while. Logan McGonigal as well. Like he's
Paul was old, just
really
there.
good. Who?
Paul Lally.
Paul Lally. Aye.
Fox for a while.
Yeah, he's not been in as much recently, but like folk like that just are under the radar. You've got wee Aaron Oliphant, he's great. His wee brother's training as well. He's also very good.
Aye.
Like there's all these people just like ready to take over.
Aye. Yeah, it's like the Dagestanis. It's like the Scottish Dagestanis. There's a list of folk just waiting to be champion. Like
But it's just because James is so like
I do like the way he
experienced
coaches,
and
man. The way he like teaches is good.
honestly like the way he coaches, the way he understands like every individual fighter. He's so busy, he's got so much on, but he's you can tell like you'll come in, you'll do a class and there'll be bits and I'll think, oh that's for me. Like that's for
Yeah.
so and so, that's because of this happened, or he goes back and he like reflects on every fight and everything. He's just so experienced, that's like the thing. But
Yeah.
he's also just so sound and like the reason why it works so well is because everyone respects him so much and he's done like he's earned that respect like
Oh, aye.
through everything he does. Like it's just
Yeah, it's
that's
cool,
why
man.
the place works so well because it's like so professional but also feels like almost like a family type atmosphere and everyone's got each other's back and everybody's also like focused on their own thing, what they're doing. What can I do to get better? What can I do to make sure everybody else is getting better? What can I do to help James or show James that I appreciate like what he's doing for everybody? He's doing so much behind the scenes too that's like
Yeah, you don't even know.
not
Aye.
needed, like he doesn't need to do. He's doing it because he's so like invested in everybody's future and
Aye.
everyone's helping each other out all the time. And like for me going there was quite scary because I didn't even know MMA outside of just training at his squad and just starting it to see what it was like. And when I started really taking it seriously and I went there, I was scared because like, what if I made the wrong decision, or what if like I'm no good enough to be here? What if I don't belong here? Like, and then like Dylan Chuk just took me under his wing and was like, "Well, this is where you train now, so it's fine."
Yeah, Dylan's a fucking
He's
legend.
he's class.
He's a
But
special character.
like if I would have still moved, but if it wasn't for him, I think I'd have felt so much like less confident in my decision. He
Aye.
made me feel better about it straight away and was like, "You know, you do fit in here. Like you just need to work on things, and this is where you're going to do it. Like this is what
That's
you're
it.
here
And
for."
I feel everybody needs somebody like that.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
needs like somebody to be like, no, you like,
Yeah,
and you do because I know like you fucking work like fuck, man.
aye.
Like you're the
I
only
do my
person I know
best.
that's like just constantly grinding away.
Oh, aye. Always.
Right, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah,
I don't know how long that was,
I
but
don't know.
probably about an hour.
Yeah, well, that's good.
That's pretty decent.
Aye. Hopefully you get good things out of it.
Yeah, I'll watch
You're
it
happy
when I
with
go to
it.
edit it, and it'll probably be terrible.
It won't be.
Lighting will be shite.
So
it'll
funny
be
if
fucking...
that actually had cut out. And it
Yeah, I
was
know.
like-
It might, I don't know what battery's left in it, but I need to get the lighting right. I don't know if the lighting's good enough or no yet. I need to sort that out, but good enough for the
Fine.
first one. Yeah.
Cheers.
So what's your
It's
plans?
exciting.
What's your plans this week? You doing anything?
No, just
Training?
training, and then working, and that's it.
Nice.
Working, training.
I'm going to try and come up on Tuesday
Aye,
and
that'd be good.
get, so I want to get stuff for wee Stephen to, he says he'll pay me for some photos and that, so.
Oh, that's good. He should be in. Well,
I did tell him I couldn't make it the day.
I would
and
say
then
to him, if you, cause sometimes he doesn't come in at night because he's in the morning.
Right.
But he'll come in if he
Aye.
knows you're coming in.
I think I'd let him know, so I'll see.
Aye, because
But-
sometimes at night time sessions he's not always in because he might do S&C or whatever. Because he stays no like dead close to gym either. He's like Barhead, I think.
Right.
So that's still a trek. Like that's like
Right,
near Silverburn basically stays.
Oh, that's still a wee bit.
So
of a trek,
he doesn't always seem like me if he's doing like S&C or whatever. He doesn't always come up to higher level to do it. So he would only he's not necessarily always in on the weeknights, depends if he's been in the morning and what he does. But he would come in, obviously, if he knew you were coming to take pictures, but
Aye,
aye.
that's cool.
I know, that's good.
Right, let's wrap it up.
Right.
That was
Here's your
brilliant.
thing.
Thank you very much
Thank you.
for doing this. First guest,
Thanks for having me.
Gemma Auld.